Why golf in China?
The main reason is it's a growing market. When I first came to China, it was 90% adults for my business. 18 years later, it is now 90% juniors.
It's huge.
Cindy Reed, world-class top golfing coach, founder and CEO of Cindy Reed Global Golf, and former coach for world number one, Vijay Singh.
You can read somebody quite a bit on the golf course with their personality, what they would be like for business.
Do I really want to go into business with the person who's going to throw their club at me and be annoyed at missing a shot?
Or cheating. I became friends with many PGA Tour players, Tiger Woods, Seve Ballesteros, Vijay Singh.
You were the first female director of coaching at the PGA Tour headquarters.
It was very difficult because you had to have the tour players accept you for who you are and what you've done in the game of golf.
How have you been able to then transition to this amazing business that you've built in China?
It's so much because it's a lot of...
How are you going to scale this business?
China is all about having a system. And once the system works, then it's really good for the whole country.
What's your thoughts on LIV and PGA?
Good question.
Congratulations, Panda Profits gang. We've made some progress. 81% of people that watch the podcast are not subscribed, down from 83%. Our goal is 75%. If you like this channel, please subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. The bigger the channel, the bigger the guests. Thank you. Enjoy the episode. Cindy, why golf in China?
Wow, there's so many things to understand about golf in China, but I think the main reason is it's a growing market. It's definitely a growing market, and especially nowadays. When I first entered into China 18 years ago, it wasn't as fast growing, but 18 years later, it's definitely growing faster than it was then, obviously. And then you're seeing so many other things like so many platforms for juniors to play golf because not a lot of people were playing the game, especially juniors. Adults were playing like crazy. But juniors were not playing as much because they didn't have access to golf courses because all the golf courses are private. Now they have two public golf courses in China, which is down in Shenzhen, which is great for the kids. But as far as why China, it's an opportunity. It's experience. It's a totally different culture than where I come from, as far as America. And it's opened up my eyes about a sport that is new to the country and how much learning they've got to learn over time. I think it's like 42 years now, 42 years old in China now. That's not a long time. So it's opportunity. Yeah.
And why in particular are you seeing a lot of young people, particularly women, playing golf now?
Women are playing golf because it's a non-contact sport, maybe.
Angry golfers.
The angry golfers, the angry bird golfers. Actually, they're playing golf because of health reasons. They enjoy being out with their friends, social reasons. A lot of ladies are playing because it gives them something else to do while their children are at school. It gives them opportunity to be with other ladies who may have different businesses that they can compare themselves with as far as doing business together. They're starting to understand that business is done through golf in quite a few ways. And they like the fact that it's outdoors and they're able to really work on their health, which is very important for the Chinese.
The idea of doing business on the golf course is an interesting one. Why do you think that is? Do you think you're in that relaxed setting? You're not sat down in a boardroom with a suit. You're actually out in the open. You feel like you could talk about a lot more. Do you feel that golf enables you to discuss business more freely?
Yes, definitely. Especially, it all depends though. I mean, if you're not playing well, it's a little bit difficult. If you're not playing well, talking about business may not be a good idea. But if you're playing well and you're relaxed and everything is great and you're with good people, business can be discussed at any time. And you can also tell if that person is really, really the right person to go into business with, because they either get angry over certain things, a shot that they did, or they get mad that the cart lady didn't come up and give them their soda drinks or whatever, or if they have, someone stepping in their line, you can read somebody quite a bit on the golf course with their personality, what they would be like for business.
So it's maybe got more power seeing someone out in the open, body language and
definitely. Yes.
Do I really want to go into business with the person who's going to throw their club at me and be annoyed at missing a shot? I think that's
or cheating. Happen.
Yeah,
or cheating.
Do you still see it every now and again? Do you still see a bit of?
I don't see it. Okay, but I hear about it. But that's just probably gossip. So it's I don't see it very often because us coaches try to teach everybody from adults to juniors to, your regular individual coming to take lessons. We try to teach everybody the core values, the rules, the etiquette, and all those good things.
Let's hear about your origin story because it is fascinating, right? So
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like US, getting into golf sort of as a female golfer, I think it's an interesting one for the audience. So, and I'd like to hear it.
Okay. You got a couple of days?
Yeah, a few hours.
A few hours.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to get into a sport that actually was something for myself long term, because I played basketball for Arizona State University and women's fast pitch softball.
Wow!
So I was on scholarship at Arizona State University, and then when I stopped university, at that time there was not a professional basketball league. So I decided to get into golf and pursue a sport that was able to give me competition with myself for the rest of my life. And the biggest thing was that I enjoyed being outside with nature. That was huge for me. And then walking the golf courses, you can get in probably about 15,000 steps for walking 18 holes. And that's really nice.
What was that spark for you? What initiated your first steps onto the golf course? Was it someone in your life or just watching it on TV?
That's funny you say that because it's when I was at Arizona State University, we were in the baseball field, so we would always see the golfers hit golf balls into our field, and I would always take the golf ball and hit it back into their field, and I always wondered what golf was. And so I ended up finding out what it was, and then I decided to work at a golf course as a cart lady who would drive around and that was my first job in the golf business. And so I was selling drinks on the golf course and trying to make as many tips as I could. And then I started teaching elementary school. And then during my before school, in the middle of school, at lunchtime and then after school, I would work on golf. And it was great because I really wanted to pursue this sport because I got so addicted to it that I wanted to pursue it as an amateur first. And then, so I pretty much just graduated myself into the sport because I'm athletic and I have played all sports all my life. So I wanted to do that. And then the first set of clubs that I bought was $100 US. And I bought it in basically a bucket of, it's kind of like a garbage can, at McCormick Ranch in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it was my first set. And I learned on those golf clubs. And every time I hit a shot, the head would fall off. And so I'd go get the head and bring it back. This is no lie. This is a true story. And then I would keep going. And then I would figure out that you have to have really special glue to keep the heads on. So I did that. I got that done. And then I started learning about the game and asking questions and watching these people on the golf course so obsessed by hitting this little white golf ball. And so I learned a lot about personality and body language and what does this game do to people. And I learned quite a bit. So I was very intrigued, and then I wanted to do it. So I got hooked up with a young gentleman who, at the time, who worked with all the LPGA players, like Jan Stevenson, who was really, really hot at that time. And he coached her for quite a long time. And so he took me under his wing and bought my first set of clubs because I couldn't afford them. And he was very sweet to me for quite a few years and taught me how to play the game. And then when I first went out and played golf from the men's tees, I shot an 82, my first score.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun. And I only did that. I practiced for 2 years because I couldn't afford to play golf. So I practiced for 2 years on short game and putting and hitting golf balls. Actually, I could only afford one bucket of golf balls, which is 30 balls. And so I bought that bucket and I would do short game first and putting. And then I would go to full swing at the end of the day and hit them on the driving range. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Incredible. So it's obviously there are some expenses with the sport, but
Definitely.
you've really built up piecemeal, right? From the ground up.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to dig into was, how did you then transition from, I guess, amateur to becoming professional?
Actually, I went to tour school, and that was an eye-opener.
What is that? What is tour school?
Tour school is where everybody that wants to get their LPGA card enter into this tournament and play golf for 3 to 4 rounds. And obviously the lowest score gets in. And at that time, they were giving 10 spots to get on the LPGA. Nowadays, I don't think it's that many, but 10 was pretty good at that time. And the first hole, I had a 10. The par 5, I had a 10. And so the second hole, I had tears down my eyes and everything. Right. But I came in and I missed it by 1 stroke. So I had to wait out another year to go to qualifying school again. So then I turned professional after that.
I think it's a really great therapy for mental health as well, isn't it? And it's a really great sport and relatable to life, because you're going through ups and downs. And it's great for building a business as well, because you're going to go through ups and downs. And it's taught me a lot of life lessons. I think because I played golf in my teenage years, rejection and dealing with downers and things like that really instilled something into me. So then when I came to China, and you get it daily, there's ups and downs of everything.
Yes.
It really, I think for anyone out there, anyone dealing with ups and downs in their life, I think golf is a great avenue.
Definitely.
Maybe if you don't want to do boxing or you want to do something that's a bit more contact, I think golf is a nice, easy way. And it's
a lot of fun.
Fit and healthy.
And,
So then
definitely.
How did you then get into, you were, correct me if I'm wrong, you were the first female director of coaching at the PGA Tour headquarters.
Yes.
Right? How did that come about?
After I had played for a living, I decided to get into coaching. And I wanted to coach at a place where I was able to practice as well, and then coach at a place where I had 2 18 holes to take my students out to and watch them play. So I chose that facility because of the reputation that it had. And also my ex-husband worked there, and he ran all the TPCs for the PGA Tour, which was 42 courses at that time. And so I learned a lot about operations. I learned a lot about many things, but my heart was always about teaching and coaching and giving back to people. And so I started teaching and then developed my own business and worked with the PGA Tour on their corporate clients as well. And then really enjoyed getting that position, as it was very difficult because you had to have the tour players accept you for who you are and what you've done in the game of golf. And as a player, I hadn't won the US Open or anything like that, but I think proving myself over time gave me that job, as well as writing books, which I do, about golf instruction, and that helped as well. And then being able to talk to the PGA Tour players and talk to them about their golf, about the skills, about the ball flight, talk to them about many things, from path to club face angle to angle of attack, understanding club head speed. As somebody new to the sport, as a teacher, you wanted to know about all those things. So I became friends with many PGA Tour players, from Tiger Woods all the way to Vijay Singh, who wanted to be number 1 in the world. And so it was kind of nice to learn from Seve Ballesteros, who is one of my favorite golfers.
My favorite golf as well. My father's favorite, just the elegance.
The elegance, I had the opportunity to spend 3 days with this guy.
Wow.
And he taught me how to hit 3 irons out of the bunker. He taught me how to hit 3 irons out of the rough that was really tough. And then he talked to me about the wedges, the short game, which he's really good at, obviously. But this guy had such a creative mind and so passionate and had the heart for golf. And it was so nice. Whether he missed a fairway, he would get up and down. Didn't matter where he was. And I learned a lot from that.
Gentleman as well.
And such a gentleman. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. So yeah. So I got the job. I really enjoyed it. And I did that for 17 years. Yeah.
And you mentioned Vijay.
Yes.
Who's one of the most popular golfers in the world.
Yes.
So how did that come about, and what was the journey like with Vijay Singh?
The journey was excellent. I learned a lot at a high level about PGA Tour players' golf swings and what they're looking for. And I'll never forget the day where Vijay said, "You better tell me the truth, and you better let me know what you better let me know what your eyes see, and if you don't see it, then don't tell me." So I learned a lot from him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to teach you because this is brand new, at a very high level. So I learned a lot from Vijay in regards to, he is self-made. He teaches himself as well, and he knows what he's doing. He's outstanding with being able to teach himself. He also had a wonderful coach from Europe, I think it was from Sweden, who always would come over, and we all got along, and I learned a lot from that individual as well. So as being a player, getting into teaching and coaching, it was nice to be around Vijay because he was self-taught, and he would tinker with a lot of things as far as the weight with his clubs and the club face angles and the lie and the lofts, and learned a lot about club fitting. So it was really good. And then I started working with him. And at that time, he was number one in the world. And I was so proud of him because that's all he kept saying was he'd like to definitely be number one and beat other players. So it was really a fun time back in the day, which is something that I will cherish for the rest of my life, because not a lot of people get to experience being around tour players for 17 years and watch a tournament go up every year at the PGA Tour. So I learned a lot about operations, learned a lot about turf, and learned a lot from the maintenance individual, just so much about golf. So it was a great learning environment, and also learning about the PGA Tour at a very high level with the players, which is a whole nother league. You put yourself inside the ropes, that's another world.
And how have you been able to then transition to this amazing business that you've built in China?
Wow. It's so much, because it's a lot of, I've been able to transition into China slowly. Everything that I learned from the PGA Tour, from the players, from my own coaching, and learning from the best coaches in the world, like David Ledbetter and Hank Haney and Butch Harmon. They all have their different styles of coaching. One is more bigger muscles. Jim Flick was all about the wrist and the hands and the forearms, the smaller muscles. And then another person was doing this. And so I was able to watch all of them and then create my own style. And since I've been coaching and teaching for this long, I've changed my style like 5 or 6 times. So I've been able to transition into China very slowly, and doing things correctly according to what China needs for the sport. At the beginning, 18 years ago, it was high heels walking on the green. Now it's spikes walking on the green with ladies. When I first came to China, it was 90% adults for my business. And then now 18 years later, it is now 90% juniors.
That's huge.
Huge transition. Huge transition. So many people are putting their children into golf because of multiple reasons. It's core values. It's learning how to slow down. It's learning to understand pressure, competition, the core values, you name it, you learn it through golf. So yeah, and business has been really good. It's been, I've been very lucky in China. I've been able to meet great people who have helped me along the way. So my business has been very steady, which I'm happy about, because golf has been through their ups and downs in China.
So to break down the business, you're doing more than just coaching. You've built an ecosystem. Right?
Yes.
So can you explain
Very excited about that.
What that is, as far as you're not just teaching someone to swing a club and hit a ball. You're actually What's the mechanics?
Actually, the ecosystem that I'm building right now, it's all about coaches learning how to teach golf through the ecosystem, students learning from the coach, and then the students' parents being able to see what their child is learning. So everybody is in one big ecosystem, and it's all about working with my IP and going through 4 levels, and then being able to be certified with the coaches, certified for the students, going and passing and testing and doing the assessments, and then being able to have people learning how to put the grip on correctly when you first meet a new golfer. You've got to understand what posture is all about. So I've been able to build this ecosystem over the last, I'd say, 5 years, with the 30 years of my experience, and work with individuals who really want to learn how to coach, and especially the caddies in the country. They don't get paid much. They have to work very hard for tips. And that's something you normally don't do in China, is tip. So the caddies are being tipped, but their regular salary is not as high as I would like to see them. So I want to share this with all the women in China who are caddying, and develop their skills to have better pay and to enjoy life a little bit better, and to share that with their children and their family as well. So it's a great ecosystem, and it's a combination. It's for everybody. You can be a professional and use it.
I think it's incredible because there's checks and balances there. I know if we compare to the UK, I'm not sure about the US, but when you're a kid learning golf,
yes,
your parents don't really care about if you're certified, but they just see hitting some balls
exactly.
at the driving range. Oh, it's going a bit further now, a little bit more straight.
Yeah.
But I think in China, certainly the parents are looking for progression.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
And I think that's really your USP, is you're able to actually show conversion when it's from lesson 1 to lesson 10 to lesson 100, and show that progression through, which I think is really, really great.
Yeah.
So how are you going to then scale this business?
I'm going to be able to share this ecosystem with academies, with driving ranges, golf courses, and individuals that have indoor facilities throughout the country. I want to share it with as many people as I can in order for them to have a better lifestyle as well. But I think the biggest thing is that there are many coaches that already teach a certain way. We call that free form, where they just grab things from here and there, and then they just throw it together and see if it works. China is all about having a system. And once the system works, then it's really, really good for the whole country to be able to learn correctly. Then their scores will start to come down, and then they'll understand that the basics are very important when they're learning. So having a system with a little bit of free form, and then being able to make the coaches responsible for the results is how I want to scale the whole business. And it's not just in China. This I want to be in Singapore, in Thailand, in Cambodia. I want it in Indonesia. I want it in other places, because I know that in Asia, there could be a very good system like my own to share with many different countries across the world. And India, that's another growing market. Dubai is a huge growing market. So if I can get my system into many of these places, which I will be doing, it's a good scaling business through the ecosystem. And it's all on the phone. So it's all tech savvy.
And I think it's an interesting one because it's an IP that is franchisable. That's the right way to
yeah, exactly.
Like you are the face, you are the IP, and you've clearly cracked a code that could be rolled out anywhere in the world.
Yes.
I think is
really, and you can actually take framework and do another sport with it.
Tell us more.
Well, the framework is developed for all sports. It's not just for golf. We developed it to where you could throw soccer in there for soccer coaches or football coaches, excuse me.
Yeah. How dare you?
Sorry about that. For football coaches, for tennis coaches. If you really go and you observe and watch all these coaches around the world, they freeform. There's no structure. And then the parents are wondering why their child doesn't get any better and there's no results, because there's no statistics done at the beginning and then to the end, and then you're seeing how much they need to improve. And if you don't have results for that, the statistics, then how are they improving? And so being able to have an ecosystem where they can start from the beginning, especially for brand new golfers, or if, like yourself, you played when you were 16, if you were on the platform, that would be great because you'd probably be at a level 2 or 3. Okay. So I would teach you more level 3, but make sure that level 1 is done completely as far as footwork, as far as your grip, because your grip can change ball flight very easily. So the ecosystem is very structured. The coaches will love it, and it's able to use all over the world. It's not just in China.
I think that's why it's scalable if it's any sport. I mean, I'm just thinking
any sport.
Pickleball is massive now, isn't it?
Definitely.
You could see that along with, I would say golf and pickleball are the two sports that I've really seen grow in popularity in China.
Pickleball is going to become really huge in China.
Yeah, a big one. It's all I'm seeing on social media, just people playing golf and people playing pickleball at the moment. So what's your thoughts on Liv and PGA and that whole situation?
To me, I'm an individual that I'm very optimistic. I believe in changing things and making change, because that's what life's all about, is changing things, not just staying comfortable all the time. So I think it's brilliant. I really like that tour. Yeah, they pay a lot, of course. And the players that are going on this tour, I think it's great for the game. It's really good for the game. And being at the PGA Tour for 17 years was great, but I also know that it was a different type of learning when I was teaching, a different type of learning than how they're playing the game now. Now they're playing the game where anybody can play it, not just the high class, high-end people. And yeah, you get a lot of high-end people in China, and yes, they are my clients and they're wonderful people, but there's many people out there that want to play the game. And the Live Tour is really opening up that market to where Greg Norman's done a great job with that. And he's done an excellent job with everything that he's been through. But all the players now are enjoying having fun playing the game. Because once you lose sight of having fun, it's mentally exhausting for any of those players at the top. So I think this has been more of a relaxed environment to where they can play the game and have a lot of fun. And then the people that do watch it and that do go to it are actually having a great time as well.
There has to be some innovation, isn't there?
Definitely.
It has to evolve with the times and keep up. So there's that element. I see a lot of live golf centres here now. There's actually one not far from here. Yeah, just around the corner actually from here.
Okay.
But there are some reservations, like Rory McIlroy. He's had some issues with live. So do you also see the other side? What are the things that maybe Liv need to work on in order to take the sport to the next level?
Good question. I think they could get more involved, and I don't know this for sure. So I think they could get more involved in charity, maybe. Yeah, as a whole. And to share with certain groups that need help with many things. Yeah,
I think we all need to do more charity. I think that's certainly something. But I think
you're right. We all do, but
it's a great point that something that the PGA has done really well. They do a lot of charity and charity events. And
they do
lots of money involved in those. It's clearly going to the right causes.
Yeah, they do a lot of charity, and a lot of money goes into that. And the people on the other end are rewarding from that in regards to getting help from others.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because the PGA Tour does a good job with that. So I think that's one area that they could definitely look forward to doing.
So if you're in China right now or anywhere in the world and you wanted to just get into golf, what would be your advice?
Start out with asking the professional about their credentials, because a lot of people just go because they have a big name or something. I would research the coach's credentials, and I would actually be very upfront about what you want to learn. in regards to, you want to learn the basics? Do you want to learn about, the takeaway? You have to be a little bit more prepared to get into the sport as far as asking questions. Because not a lot of people ask questions when they get into lessons. They just go because it's that academy or that pro or whatever. So I'd recommend everybody to pick up the game because it's awesome. It's a great sport.
It is. I used to love playing. I'm actually going to get back into it. I'm going to come down.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I wanted to invite you to come to my academy here in Shanghai and to enjoy a good couple of hours of lessons. Lovely. And enjoy getting back into it. Hopefully I can get you getting into the game again.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Can I bring Aziz? Can I bring my videographer as well? Yeah,
yes.
Got to bring him
Yeah,
along.
definitely.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And so if people want to get in touch with you and also tell people about your platform as well. Oh,
yeah. The platform that I have is at Thompson Golf Club in the middle of Shanghai. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful 18-hole golf course. You can get in touch with us on WeChat with is it CRGG? Oh, Cindy Reed Global Golf. Sorry.
It's not hard to remember. Cindy Reed, and then
No. I was thinking I've got so many social media channels that you can get in touch with us on the WeChat channel, Little Red Book, and then Weeble. You can get on those as well.
Wonderful. We'll put all the links in the comments.
Okay,
in
great.
The content section.
It's not like I didn't forget my name.
No. It's just like Cindy Reed is like that's a brand name. I can really see that going forward. That is your IP, right?
Definitely,
it's
Cindy
really,
Reed Global. And I picked the global because I knew I was going to scale.
Yeah.
So that's why I put the global golf in there.
A C and an R, they work quite
definitely.
nicely
Yes.
together, the logo, don't they? So, yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you. Get back into golf. I see the benefits, both health, business, for meditation as well. Your brain will switch off and
definitely
recalibrate. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me here today. This is great.
And if I missed any questions, guys, feel free to drop a comment below, like, subscribe, take up some golf, get out on the course, hit some balls on the driving range. Take care, and I'll see you next time.